Have you ever seen someone carry a secret for so many years that it slowly became heavier than a bag of cement on their head? That is exactly what happened in a quiet village where everybody believed they knew one another. They praised one wealthy elder for his generosity. They greeted him with respect whenever he passed. Nobody knew that the foundation of his riches had been built on another man's tears, and the only person standing between that lie and the truth was a tiny baby who had not even opened his eyes properly. It all began on a rainy night when the village midwife, Mama Adaku, had just helped a young woman bring a healthy baby boy into the world. Before the first cock could crow, there was a knock on her door. Standing outside was Chief Namdi, his wrapper soaked from the rain. He pushed a heavy bag into her hands. The sound of coins alone was enough to make anyone curious. "You must bury that child before sunrise," he whispered. Mama Adaku stared at him as if she had not heard well. "Chief, whose child?" "The child you delivered tonight. Nobody must ever know he lived." Her fingers tightened around the bag, but her voice trembled. "What kind of thing is this?" The old man's eyes refused to meet hers. "Ask no questions. By tomorrow, the village must believe the baby died." Long after he disappeared into the darkness, Mama Adaku remained where she stood. The money lay on the floor untouched, while the newborn slept peacefully beside his exhausted mother. Every time she looked at that tiny face, her own heartbeat became louder than the rain outside. Just before dawn, she wrapped the child carefully, slipped through the back paths of the village, and carried him to her lonely hut. By sunrise, people were already crying because they believed the baby had died during the night. Even the young mother fainted when she heard the news. From that day, Mama Adaku carried two burdens instead of one. She raised a child who could never call her by her true place in his life, and she carried a lie that could cost both of them everything. The boy grew into a cheerful young man called Chiki. He was not without faults. Sometimes his curiosity pushed him into trouble. Sometimes he asked questions Mama Adaku could never answer. Whenever he wondered why no one in the village looked like him, she would smile weakly and say, "God has his own way of mixing faces." When Chiki was barely 5, a fever gripped him so fiercely that his little body burned through the night. Mama Adaku never closed her eyes. She sat beside him, cooling his forehead with wet cloth after wet cloth, whispering prayers until her voice became hoarse. By morning, she could hardly stand, but when the boy finally opened his eyes and asked weakly, "Mama, are you still here?" she only smiled and answered, "Where else would I be?" Another year, a stubborn bull broke loose during the market. Children scattered in every direction, but Chiki froze where he stood. Before anyone could shout again, Mama Adaku ran forward, threw herself around the frightened boy, and rolled with him into a shallow ditch. She went home with bruises across her arms, yet she laughed whenever Chiki cried that the injuries were his fault. There was even a season when she quietly sold the pair of coral beads her late husband had given her so Chiki could continue learning under the village teacher. The boy never knew where the money came from. She simply told him, "Knowledge is something nobody can steal from you." As Chiki became older, people trusted him. He settled quarrels before they became fights. He helped old women carry firewood without waiting to be thanked. When floods damaged farms, he worked until his palms blistered. Villagers often said, "If every young man behaved like Cheek, this village would know peace."